Hello everybody and welcome back to Victoria, where last episode we decided to cut down on our construction down to about 5,000, and that really does feel like that's about the right amount. So we're going to tick on forward here. We have a lot of buildings queued up to try to deal with our unemployment situation that we have going on here, and it is a grim situation in the unemployment. But it's getting a lot better. We've employed about half of the people that we fired from our construction sites, so that is a good thing. Now, one thing I'd like to check on here, Liberia just became the protectorate of Russia. That feels like they're stepping on our turf a little bit, but we could definitely think about getting this infamy. Like, using additional infamy, right? That's definitely a thing that we could think about. Also, I like how this is clearly happening in a deferred manner. Like, it was drawing all of this stuff on the map as I was speaking there. I just now noticed that. Fantastic. So our GDP is holding a little bit firm right now. I'm not surprised about that, given the amount of unemployed people that we have. That's not shocking. Radicalism is pretty high, and it should be starting to come back down soon as we get these people back employed, right? That's going to be the goal there. And all of this unemployment does, of course, mean that immigration is going to be fairly stalled for a little bit. So I'm not surprised that we're seeing this leveling off a little bit here. That's fairly expected. So I do want to go after Great Britain. The question is now the time for that? Our military is still maxed out here. Our taxes are maxed, and our wages are minimum. So we probably want to continue to work on this. 56.5k in interest. That's not too bad. As we work through this construction queue, it should be reasonably okay. We're going to need to continue to work on our market access and taxation capacity. Michigan, Quebec, and Maine. Okay, so Michigan is already building one, but Quebec and Maine will need one. And Michigan, I'm going to build a second one in. There we go. And then as far as our market access goes, New York clearly needs some market access, as does Quebec. So we'll get that all moved in there. Alaska still needs a little bit, so we'll get that going. Oregon. Idaho. Cool. Texas. Oklahoma. Otherwise, that looks reasonable. Fantastic. So we just hit 3.5 billion. Our economy is coming back up now. Looks great. Our radicalism is still increasing broadly, I think. We're on a contested government right now, and there's not much we can do about that. Can we get any law changes going here? We could go to a command economy. Pass on that one for now. We're on regulatory bodies. Do we go to workers' protections? No. No, we don't. That increases the minimum wage, and with the way that the economy is modeled in this game, that is very not good. We could go to women's suffrage, though, and I think that we do that. So we'll go ahead and start working on that. That will increase our workforce ratio, which will not exactly help our unemployment numbers, but it should be fine. So we're not maxed out on our construction right now. Aeroplanes and radios are still expensive. We're working on war industries right now. Let's go ahead and work on, if we can go into our industry here, let's work on some electrics industries. Michigan seems like a good option. Cool. I'm actually going to make a set of them in Wisconsin as well. There we go. So we'll hop into our buildings and make sure that those are set to auto-expand. Since they're new, they will be needed to set up to auto-expand. There are apparently some of these that need to happen. Okay, looks good. Cool. So we're working on paying down our debt right now. It's not at the fastest speed in the world, but it is definitely happening. Now, what is our current primary cost? Our cost center is ironclads. That's not shocking. Again, we've overbuilt our naval bases. We don't need to have this many naval bases. And we can't really get more ironclads going because of situations in our... If we go into California here and take a look at our shipyards, like, look at this. This is not happening because the cost of steamers is so low. We cannot consume additional steamers. We could export steamers, I think. That's something we should definitely be doing, shouldn't we? So we go to here, and this is steamers. We need to export steamers to, like, everyone that we possibly can. Export all of the steamers. Literally all of them. Okay. That's going to be a lot of steamers to export, but it's probably not going to budge us off of the minimum here. Let's see what happens here. Waiting for the week tick. There we go. What do we got? Yeah, that didn't budge us off of the bottom. I'm not surprised about that. We're trying to produce ironclads. But ironclads have the byproduct of producing steamers, and we can't produce fewer steamers. As far as I'm aware. Unless we were to go down to wooden ships here. Hang on. No, that doesn't allow us to build extensive military shipbuilding. Okay, so that's not a thing. Noted. So we'll need to go down to here. And that seems reasonably fine. We do have some market access issues. Quebec is probably going to require an additional government administration. There we go. We're not maxing out our construction at this moment either. I would like to get 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to need some in Wisconsin as well, I'm pretty sure. So we'll get that pre-building, Durango and California. Okay, that looks good. We're kind of maxed out on our construction. Kind of. And we do have some auto queue happening. But what else is currently expensive? Still aeroplanes and radios. We're working on both of those, so we'll see what happens after that's done. Modern battle fleet tactics unlocked. This allows us to increase our naval base max level. That's a terrible idea. That'll just make our disparity in price between steamers and ironclads even worse. So I think we'll not do that. That is not going to be a thing. Maybe later, but I really wish that we could uncouple that production. Like, further uncouple, right? Because right now, if we go down to our shipyards, right here, we're on extensive military shipbuilding. We can't make fewer steamers and more ironclads. But that's exactly what we need to do. Yeah. Unfortunate, but we can't make fewer steamers. We're making 55 per level, and it's way too much. We could move this over to publicly traded, and we'll go ahead and do that. I didn't realize that it wasn't on publicly traded. So that sounds good. Cool. So we have 5.44 million unemployed people right now. We're still building electrics and war machine industries. And there's a lot of turmoil, no doubt about that. We're working on the turmoil situation. That turmoil situation is because of all of the mass firings from downsizing our construction. If we were to downsize our navy, the same thing would happen. We could just build the naval bases for the purpose of employing people and consider it welfare. And so we shall. Oh boy. So, ironclads are going to be a problem. We're going to have to import ironclads, I think. Pretty sure that's the way that this is going to end up working. This is probably quicker to go this route. Yeah, I'd argue that that's definitely quicker. Okay. So we'll keep our construction maxed for a while with that. So we should definitely look to import ironclads, right? 100%. Insufficient taxation capacity. Yeah, I saw that. What is this? Illinois, Quebec, North Dakota. Okay, for the time being, that's fine. Ironclads are actually not considered expensive right now. Shockingly. Illinois, Quebec, North Dakota. Okay. So, Illinois, Quebec, North Dakota. Sounds good. And then we're going to need to build additional railways, 2 in Quebec, 1 in New York. Michigan is going to need at least 6. 1 in Ontario, 1 in Texas, 1 in Oregon, and 2 in Alaska. Alaska has so much infrastructure that it's getting. That's insane. Okay. It's got a lot of stuff. Alaska does. Cool. We could risk a little violence here, I think. 66% chance of plus 20% enactment, and that's what we got. Sounds great. Okay, cool. So our birth rate is going to go down a little bit. Our workforce is going to increase. We are down below 5 million at this point, unemployed. That's good. And all of these naval bases will build very quickly. This is going to make quite a number of problems in terms of our shipbuilding. We've already got a number of problems in terms of shipbuilding. So if we come over here, our ironclads are currently only 15% up. Now we can scale up our ironclads, right? So I don't actually think we need to import these. What we really need to do is we need to find additional ways to offload steamships. That's what we need to do. Is there any other export routes that we can do here? No. But those are probably still growing, so for the moment that seems reasonably fine. All of these naval bases are almost done building already. And that's great. Yeah, that looks good. So let's take a quick look here. Aeroplanes and artillery. Artillery is new, so we're going to build arms industries in Illinois. And let's actually take these up to 100. Cool. So any of these that are not already at 100, we'll take up to 100. So something along the lines of this. That's a lot of arms industries, to be sure. But we need employees. Our population actually dropped slightly. Hilarious. But that's almost certainly due to our unemployment issue. We're working on it. People are going to migrate to where the jobs are, so it will spread out over time. And we just need to continue constructing until such a time as that's dealt with. So that'll be fine. I want to check in on this situation. We need 2 additional railways here, 3 in Pennsylvania. We just need to continue constructing at an unprecedented scale, except that we are nowhere near as quick with our construction as we used to be. Our GDP has continued to climb, 3.6 billion. Fantastic. And our literacy is looking good too. Our standard of living is still dropping off. That is certainly due to the unemployment issue. Yeah, people are currently looking for greener pastures elsewhere because they've been unemployed. We're working on it. Cool. So aeroplanes are still considered expensive. I want to check in on these war machine industries. There are no employees here right now. Okay. And they're basically not hiring any employees because they're negative in their balance. The price of oil is super high. I'd like to import more oil, but unfortunately there's only so much oil we can import. So what else are we going to need? Okay, fishing wharves, oil extractor industry throughput in Texas. Sounds good. So that'll help our price of oil. Indeed. So I don't actually care about these maize farms. I want the oil here. Yes, I'm aware that oil is expensive. Okay, go to details screen. So, glassworks. I feel like we should pull our glassworks off of houseware plastics to consume less oil. So we'll go ahead and do that. We'll see what that does with the price of oil. That's a massive improvement. I love it. That's very good. These trade routes are now unproductive. We want additional oil savings. So what else can we do to reduce oil consumption? Well, our power plants are already on coal-fired plants. I don't really want to change any of our resource extraction. So, we've got these synthetics plants here that we probably don't need to really be heavily invested in. We've got chemical plants that we kind of do. What else is using large amounts of oil? Tooling workshops, but I feel like that's necessary for those. New South Wales wants a trade agreement. Sure. Okay, so that's all looking good, right? Wisconsin is going to need an additional 2 railways. What else might we need throughout here? Anything in Hawaii? Nope. Okay, so that looks good for the time being. This is updating. There we go. Glass is currently expensive, so we should definitely produce additional glass. Obviously, it's harder to produce when we're producing glass instead of plastic, but we're going to take this up to 99. And we're going to take all of these. Let's see, this needs to be 19, so that's 30. 40 would be now. 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100. Cool. We're going to take all of these up to size 100 for right now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 1, 2. Cool. So then this would go up to 72. This would go to 62. This would go to 62 as well. This would go up to 61. This would go to 56. I overshot that a little bit. That's fine. We'll take this up to 56 as well. Pennsylvania goes to 55. And then Massachusetts goes to 45. And then Ohio to 44. Cool. So something like this. I'm also going to start up a new batch of them in Louisiana. I don't know how many I clicked there. Exactly 100? Perfect. Okay, so that looks good. We're of course going to auto-expand that glassworks, but that construction is going to take a while. That's a lot of glass that we just queued up. No doubt about that. So we'll let that work away, and that will keep our construction queue maxed out. War machines appear to be good. Armenian people are migrating to New York. That's great. Our population had started to decline there due to our unemployment. 4.6 million. Yeah, we're still working on it. Women's suffrage has not been enacted yet, and we're working on paying off our debts. How are we doing on our infamy? 33.8. Okay. We should probably go after Britain fairly soon. How much would it cost to max out our military wages? I feel like that's doable. This is less doable. But it's getting there. So that's looking good. We are, of course, going to need to continue to work on our railways. 4 and 5. We need one in Quebec. And it's a little laggy to get these built. I don't know where that last one built, but it wasn't Quebec. Texas needs one. And what else do we need? Alaska needs one still. Cool. So that is all underway. We also have a revolution starting. Is this a real one? They want an old age pension. They're not actually going to do this, though, is the thing. This is probably just because of the radicalism. The radicalism has flattened out, but it does need to get dealt with. No doubt about that. So women's suffrage is going to be enacted soon. The old age pension is probably okay. We'll enact that eventually, but we can only enact one thing at a time. So I'm okay with enacting this. We'll just need to get there. And we're not quite there yet. So as soon as we can, we'll do that. English people are migrating to Quebec, and North Indian people are migrating to California. Okay, cool. So we're down to 4.43 million unemployed people. And we just need to continue building at, like, maximum speed here. I mean, this isn't maximum speed, but you know what I mean. At the current speed. Our oil costs are no longer hovering near full. I would like to continue to bring those costs down further. So what would be acceptable to drop? What indeed? I feel like we've already gotten most of the low-hanging fruit there. Most of it, anyway. We could definitely use more oil, but we seem to be doing about the best that we can. And I mean, we're always going to need more oil, right? That's just the way it works. That is just the way it works. That's why we always max out our oil the moment we can. We don't have enough authority to be able to get additional oil throughput. So for now, that's fine. And this revolution is going to be capped at 71 for the moment. So that's absolutely fine. And yeah, we're definitely going to enact old age pension. We just need to enact women's suffrage first. So when is this going to be done here? August of 1923. We're hoping that it goes through then. That would be the dream. Absolutely. So our investment pool is currently empty. That looks good. And we are going to need to continue to work on railways, of course. Oh, that's really laggy. Okay. Exciting. Cool. So Illinois is going to need 3. Wisconsin is going to need 2. I don't think the third one in Illinois took. No, it didn't. So we'll try that again. There we go. California is going to need a railway. And we're just continuing to construct at the, again, maximum possible speed at 5,000. This problem was created by us, and we will eventually solve it. Cool. So at this point, Quebec and California have insufficient taxation capacities. So we're going to build in California, and we're going to build, I believe it was 2 in Quebec. 3 in Quebec. And I'm going to go with 2 in California. Cool. So that'll do. That looks great. And this revolution isn't going to go any higher than this. We're hoping women's suffrage passes here. And it did. Fantastic. So, workforce ratio, dependent enfranchisement, sure. We're going to immediately work to enact this old age pension. Consider it done. So all of these guys are now placated. That's great. So the radicals will drop down once we actually get this done. That'll be good. We are dipping negative financially right now. I am wondering what that did to our unemployment numbers. 4.9 million. 5.22. Yeah, that's about what I expected. We're going to continue to construct as quickly as we can and try to get this unemployment situation under control. We may actually have to expand our construction a little bit more. We're fully removing from the investment pool. And so I think I shall. We're going to build this in Illinois. And we're just going to be much more careful with the expansion of our construction sectors. There we go. So this was all at the bottom of the queue. This should be moved up to the top to get these jobs underway and constructing that much faster. There we go. Cool. So we're definitely going to need more glass. We know that. Quebec is continuing to go negative on the government administrations. We'll build an additional 2 there. And what else do we need? California now needs an additional 1, and Massachusetts and Illinois. Okay. There we go. And railways, we're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in Michigan. one in New York, and a couple in Alaska, and one in Ontario as well, looks like. Or rather, Quebec. There we go. Fantastic. So we're still positive financially. That is looking good. Unemployment numbers are dropping-ish. They're dropping-ish. And our GDP is continuing to go up. So that's okay. That's going fine. We finished up all of this construction. And there's not... I wish you could shift-click this to go to the first page. I know that you can go this way on the last page and get there, and I should have done that, but I didn't. Okay, so we're definitely going to continue to check in on our market access. Market access is still vitally, vitally important for us. We're negative financially right now by a pretty wide margin, and the question is, why is that? Well, ironclads are back to being expensive. And I'm guessing that is because our steamship trade route kind of died a little bit. Honestly, even if it's negative productivity, maybe we should run it. I wish we could make fewer steamships and more ironclads. I really do. It's a little bit frustrating that we can't. Of course, the quote-unquote correct response to this is to get rid of some naval bases. But I don't think we're going to do that. Yeah, looking at this, it's pretty much the ironclads. Pretty much the ironclads. Ammunition is actually a little expensive, too. We're spending a lot on ammunition. Yeah, I want to look at it. I want to look at the price of ammunition. Plus 18%. Okay, we could definitely put in an ammunition plant, although that's not a huge priority, right? So we would put this in at the end of the queue. I'll go to the full 100. There we go. Something along the lines of that. And we'll just continue constructing away. Cool. So these jobs will be finishing up eventually. We also may want to think about getting more of these types of jobs. That would basically require auto expansion unless we wanted to try to figure out which of these would be the best for which states. I suppose we could do that. 0.43, not available in Alaska, not available in Alaska, not available in Alaska, not available in Alaska, and not available in Alaska. So for Alaska, we would definitely build these livestock ranches, right? It would go like that. And then we'd have to do that for each one of these states. So maize farms are not available in British Columbia. 0.56, so wheat is better than livestock, at least for now, in British Columbia there. So it looks like wheat is what goes into British Columbia. I accidentally built those in California. Did not intend to do that. So we're going to... I canceled one in BC as well. Oh, this is going back to the top after every cancellation? Oh, that's irritating. I don't like that. Please don't do this. This is horrible. Okay, so we needed this wheat farm in British Columbia. Not this one in California. This is laggy and difficult to deal with. Okay, there we go. So, now California. 43... not available. 37. 64. So it looks like cotton plantations are what you build in California. Cool. So we should go through all of these, but it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to continue to work on getting our population to work. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Kentuin, James, Shadowwolf, Mlohan80, Kentogan, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Unisol, Rogue Corvid, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.